You have this initiative, you have a project. There's a longing for something more. It's been there for a while, and you have just not been able to get started. Don Schuller once said that most people get stuck at the start. What do? Today, I want to share with you actually 5 keys. I said 3, but I'm going to bonus you 2 extra keys to really help you get started. What can you do to get off the starting line and really step into this next version of you and your life that's seeking to bless you, to express by means of you? If you like what you're hearing, whether you're watching this live or the broadcast, drop some hearts, thumbs up, says, oh my gosh, this is right on. And if you know somebody else who would benefit from this information, please share this with them. And if you are ready to have rocket fuel poured on your dream, if you're ready for support, plan on joining me for my 3-day event. Well, I create a container of transformation, helping you get clear around what is it that you would love, see where you get stuck, show you some tools and what to do to keep your momentum going, help you get a plan of action so you can get off the starting line, so you can get unstuck and start living a life that you love. Put the word event in the comment section if you want more information around my 3-day event coming up. My name is Felicia Searcy, and it is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. I have had the honor of helping thousands of people live lives that they love around the world. And I am thrilled that I get to help you and be your partner in believing in this moment. So glad Severina is here. Welcome, Severina. And I see some other people rolling in. So let's get started. So again, you've got this dream, you've got this initiative, you have this idea, and it's not fully formed. It's just something that's been kind of floating around, and you're not even sure exactly what it is or how to even get started. And it just stays in its conceptual form, and it gnaws away at you. And there might have even been times when you physically put something on the calendar and said, all right, I'm doing this, and maybe got it going a little bit, but didn't have the oomph or the energy to really let it build the momentum with it that's necessary to bring it into the facts of your life. And you find yourself feeling frustrated, inadequate, stuck, and wondering, what's wrong with me? That there you are, stuck at the start. Again, Don Schuller, most people get stuck at the start, and there you are. What do? Well, again, I'm going to share with you 3 plus 2 more bonus keys to really help you get moving off of that starting line. Okay, so first step, and I did a broadcast on my personal page on this morning where I actually showed you a picture of when it wasn't a picture. I actually showed you the thermostat. First step is to understand that you have an internal thermostat that regulates how much freedom, how much fulfillment, how much joy, how much abundance, how much success you will allow yourself to experience. That set point is as real as the color of your eyes. You can see the color of your eyes when you look into the mirror, but you can't internally see your set point. But if you want to know what your set point is, all you have to do is look at your results. Now, why this is important about getting started is because that set point will actually dictate what you will even allow yourself to entertain, what you will even allow yourself to play with in the realm of your imagination. And when you begin to entertain ideas that are beyond this, what you've achieved for yourself or experienced for yourself or allowed for yourself up until this point, it's like we go into brain freeze. It's like your brain freezes up, and you can't even really let yourself think about something that delicious or robust or expanded or fun or whatever it is. And so what ends up happening when I watch over and over and over, and I am super mindful in myself, and which is why I stay in a container of support with a highly calibrated mentor, because what happens is when we start going beyond that set point, beyond that internal thermostat. Now, let me back up a little bit and help remind you what the thermostat actually does. The thermostat regulates the temperature in the room. The temperature in the room is the effect of what your thermostat in your room is set on. And I'm in a hotel room, in case you can't tell. Where is Felicia today? I'm in Portland, getting to serve an amazing group of entrepreneurs tomorrow and Thursday. And the thermostat in my hotel room actually regulates temperature up and down. That typically you have a thermostat that, you can put in an air conditioner or put it on heat and it will turn off when it gets too high, or, if it gets too low. But this one actually regulates both ends. And what's so powerful about this, it is such a brilliant illustration that you actually have a set point for how low you go. And most people, you'll hit a certain level and you'll be able to, oomph it up and do what's necessary to get above what your set point has been and not go to the depths of, living under a bridge kind of thing. And then you also have a set point for how much freedom and allowance and abundance that you will let yourself experience. And when you're heading in either direction and the world of your effects look like it's going to go beyond that set point, that thermostat, your internal thermostat, kicks in and begins to do everything in its power to regulate you back down to where you've got it set, where it's registering. Why this is so important around getting started is that your thermostat determines what you even allow yourself to entertain in terms of ideas and possibilities. And what most people do, in fact, I just saw it when I was doing a workshop this past weekend. Most people will get excited and begin to play with a different possibility. And then when it really comes down to getting down to the details, I watch as people water it down to something that's manageable and doable. And there's no juice behind a watered down version of your dream. You're not going to want to get started with a watered down version of your dream. So most people look at it and say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put the energy into that. And there they sit on the starting line. And the real dream, the real expanded version of what's seeking to express by means of you, it's just back there working on you and knocking at your door. And there's that in you that say, yeah, but I would really love to do that. And there you sit, because you don't know how to increase your thermostatic setting in order to allow a greater degree of good into your life. Now, that's a whole nother topic, and I have talked some on that on these live broadcasts. The thing I want you to hear here today, as you are considering getting started, is that in order to get started, you have to be willing to think beyond anything that you've ever known for yourself up until this point, and to really work with that thermostatic setting. All right, so if that's making sense and you can see it, that's where you see the bounce. You get started, you stop. You get started, you stop. You get started, you stop. It's because you keep trying to rearrange it out here, but you're not working with the internal thermostatic setting. So if you see that, say, I see it in the comment section. Drop in the comment section. I see that. I see myself in that. Put hearts and thumbs up. And again, be sure to share this if you know somebody else who's stuck on the starting line. And if you want rocket fuel, if you want to ignite that initiative, plan on joining me for a 3-day immersion into my event where we go deep into this to really help you get moving. And if you're interested in that, put the word event in the comment section. All right, so that's key number 1. Understand that you have a set point that is even going to interfere with your ability to think expansively, much less get started. If you're not working with that set point, you won't even really able to get started. All right, number 2, and I talked a little bit about this in number 1, so I'm going to just briefly touch on it. Understanding that you have a thermostatic set point, that's as you understand that you give yourself permission to dream. You really allow yourself to think into, yeah, but what if I could? What if I really could do this thing that causes me to catch my breath when I think about it? What if I really could do that? And you can feel excitement is an indicator that in your body, that doesn't feel normal. And so part of that is working with normalizing the excitement. That's what it is to work with raising your thermostatic set point. So it's really giving yourself permission. If I really could do this, if I really could do this, what would that be? And that's when you're giving yourself permission to dream, bold, expansive, just really allowing yourself to go places in this realm of your imagination that you've never allowed yourself to go before, and know that you're bumping up against the edge of your thermostatic setting. So if you're in for dreaming big and dreaming bold, drop in the comment section, I dream big. I dream big. And if you're ready to accelerate this, plan on joining me at my live event, 3-day, where we're going to take a deep dive into this. All right, so number 1 is understanding you have a thermostatic setting. Number 2 is realizing you have to cause yourself and support yourself and really dreaming something so much more expansive and alive making in you, knowing that you're going to push up against that resistance. You're going to trigger your thermostatic setting, but this is what it is to really work with raising that thermostatic setting. All right, 3rd thing, tip number 3, break it down. Now, this is different than watering it down. I'm not telling you to water it down. I'm telling you to break it down, realizing that whatever this result is that brings you the most alive, there is a milestone. There's an indicator that as you begin to take action toward it, it's an indicator that you are on your way. My husband and I are in the process of buying a new house. And there's action. And I've had to cause myself to move to that place. It's okay. We're quote moving up in house. You know that we had a California starter home. We loved our California starter home, and now we're moving up. And you know, to cause ourselves to think very differently around real estate investment and real estate quote prices, especially compared to, you know, we came from the East Coast and it's a very different picture. So when we think about our dream home and we think about where we've come, we already have evidence that we are on our way, that we've moved out to California and we're in a house in California. We're not in a condo. We're not in an apartment. We are physically in a house. That's evidence that we are on our way. Now, there are other elements of evidence that are milestones that tell us that we are on our way to being in our home. One of those things is having a real estate agent. We didn't have a real estate agent before. We were just basically driving around and, you know, peeking in and going to some open houses. And the more we put that on, we realized, all right, our next step is to have a real estate agent. That's evidence that we are on our own. And since my husband is basically in charge of all of this and telling, you know, he's doing the research and he's doing the interaction, it's his project. I get to live in it. You know, he found a real estate agent. That's evidence that we are on our way. I often talk about Laura Lynn, who is part of the Tenpenny Gypsies, and her dream, her desire to bring, wonderful, inspiring music to the world. And she was basically stuck at the start. She had done a few things. They were playing a few gigs. She even had, a quasi CD, but it was nowhere near. She had watered the version down. And as she stepped into the version of the woman who's really making impact with her music, she began to think, okay, so what are the milestones that tell me I am on my way? And one of them was that I've got a really good CD cut. Now, the reason why this is important is because when you look at the quote finished product, not that it's ever finished, we're never finished, but there's a spot that you're aiming toward, that you're seeing and you're living into. And that can feel really big because it's more expansive than anything you've done or who you've been up to this point. This is what you keep that in mind. That's what you're creating. And this is what I created along the way. That's an indicator that I'm on my way. So as Laura is building out this music career, this greater impact with her music, she realized that she needed a really high quality CD. What that does, it informs what your next action steps are. You may not know how to get to this big mighty dream, but as you see, okay, here's the milestone, here's the benchmark, the next benchmark that tells me I'm on my way. That then will inform what your actions are. And so what Laura's actions were, and it's interesting because she could have done this all along. She had access to a major couple that are producers all along, but she wasn't thinking from that state of awareness to take the next necessary action steps to partner with these folks. But as she was able to see the CD, all right, I want a CD, I want a recording, she was then able to take the action step to enlist the support, the partnership with her production team, Savannah Lee and Anthony Crawford. And she, within 3 months, she was then able to create a CD. Now, she didn't want the CD for the CD's sake. She wants to share that. With that benchmark, now she's putting on being the woman who's creating this, building her believing. That dream is becoming tangible. And notice how she's now off the starting line because she is raising her thermostatic set point to see herself as a successful musician. Lots has happened in between. And as of right now, Laura Lynn and her partner, and with the Tenpenny Gypsies, she has been nominated for the Arkansas Country Music Awards, one of 5 out of the entire state of Arkansas. That never would have happened. Number one, if she didn't allow herself to dream that expansively, and then to see what is the next milestone, what's the next action to get off the starting line. And she didn't do that alone. She did it with support. So put milestone, my next milestone, in the comment section in order to really ground this for you and hit the hearts and the thumbs up. And of course, share this. And if you want to really go deep and put rocket fuel on your initiative, your project, your dream, your desire, make plans to come to my 3-day event. If you want more information about this, put the word event in the comment section and my team and I will get you that information. All right, tip number 4, be willing to be a beginner with whatever it is. And you may not be a beginner right now, but your next level that's calling you. You don't know how to do that next level. You are not a match for that next level, which means you become willing to do it awkward, uncomfortable, sloppy, clumsy, that the part of you that's attached to being the expert of that created your current results, you are not going to be an expert. I did not start out being an expert businesswoman. In fact, I was clumsy. I was awkward. I did things sloppy. But every time I became willing to step into an activity, like this, that I didn't know how to do, it built my ability to identify with the woman who's doing that, and it builds your skill set. So know when you're on the starting line of whatever your initiative is, there are elements about that you don't know how to do. Just know that you are not the expert that you are now. Remember, the whole purpose of your dream is to grow you into an even greater version of who you are created to be. We get really attached to being the expert at whatever it is, at being really good at whatever it is. You didn't start out that way with whatever it is that you're doing right now. Michael Jordan didn't know how to throw a basketball. Tiger Woods didn't know how to swing a puck. Laura didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to teach. I didn't know how to run a business. When we start, whatever the initiative is, whatever the new endeavor is, there are elements that you don't know how to do. So a key part of getting off the starting line is learning how to manage the energy of awkwardness, of feeling like a beginner, of knowing that you're going to trip, you're going to fall, it's going to be sloppy, and being willing to manage that and see it that it's all part of the process. I don't remember where I was talking about this. I run lots of different groups, the people who work with me directly, and, I do this, but somewhere along the line, I was talking about riding a bike. Maybe it was on the webinar that I did last week. When you first started riding a bike, you wobbled. If you ride a bike, you wobbled, you went back and forth. Sometimes you even fell. Every time you wobbled and went back and forth, you were actually building a muscle memory of what it was to balance on that bike. So now you can just get on it and go without thinking about it. That wasn't the case in the beginning. It's the same thing with whatever your desired initiative is. This new expanded version of you. You're raising your set point. You're growing your thermostatic setting. You're raising your set point. You're allowing yourself to dream big. You're putting a milestone out there along the way. This is what it looks like as I build this success along the way. And you do it awkward, sloppy, clumsy, and afraid, knowing that every time you do, you are building a new degree of competence and expertise in order to really allow this thing to move through you. All right, so number one, know that you have a thermostatic setting that's even going to interfere with your ability, if you allow it, if you don't know how to manage it, of really thinking expansively and boldly. So learning how to manage that thermostatic setting. Number two, knowing that you give yourself permission to dream to the point where you're not only bumping up against the edge of that thermostatic setting, but going beyond it. Number three, you set milestones along the way so you can see, all right, as I aim for this, I know I'm on the way for this. Number four, you understand that there are skills and talents and capabilities that you don't have developed yet. And so you become willing to be awkward and sloppy and do it afraid and imperfectly, that you are taking massive imperfect action. Yes, dream beyond your thermostat, Becky, and you're doing that. You're doing that. And you took delicious action this week. And realize that that anxious feeling that gets triggered, it's good news. It's good news because you're bumping up against the edge of your thermostat. And then finally, number five, realize that we cannot do it alone. If I depend on my own resources, the only thing I can do is think to the level of my current thermostat. I need somebody outside of me helping me push up against that thermostat, because that thermostat feels so real. It's so convincing. It sounds like it's your voice. And it is just so compelling. And the reasons why, it's telling you that this is good right where we are. This is good. Having somebody outside the frame. I am so grateful for my mentor, because she's really helping me stretch beyond what has been my thermostat around what I've invested in real estate up until this point. And I'm in Southern California. If we want to live in something that really brings us alive, it pretty much requires that we go beyond the way that we used to think about a house up until this point. And she's helping me stretch my identity and my belief in my ability, our ability to step in and match that. So we can't do this alone. Yes, it is, Becky. So it's a key piece of this, of really getting off the start, is getting support. So here is my invitation for you. I would love to support you in getting off the starting line. And I tell you, there's nothing more powerful than being immersed in a multiple day incubator, where you are really able to listen deeply to the voice of inspired insight that's seeking expression through you. That you're able to have support when you look at those patterns that keep you stuck, and have some practice putting on and practicing applying tools to help you stare those down and act even in the face of those voices, to be able to entertain action steps and know what it is to hear action steps and put a plan down, and have multiple days, and I'm talking 3 days, of having somebody stand with you with unwavering belief, knowing that as you can think it up, the power in you knows how to bring it into the facts of your life. It is a remarkably powerful experience. And this is what Laura said yes to, as Laura has just catapulted who she is and what she's created. Becky, I'm thrilled that you're coming, and there's lots of, obviously, and Becky's coming in from Connecticut all the way out to California. And so that's my invitation for you, that there would be nothing that would delight me more, not that you're here to delight me, but just to share with you, to be able to wrap my arms around you for 3 full days, helping you listen to you, to step, to give you the opportunity in the container to step away from life in order to hear how life longs to express through you and by means of you, and to really get you moving off of that starting line and into the life of your dreams. So if you want more information, if you just want more information, put the word event in the comment section. And my team and I will send you more information. If you want to have a conversation with me, I want to talk more about it, that you and I can talk about what this could look like for you, and if it's a good fit for you. So if you want that, just put the word event in the comment section, and my team will make sure that you get information about the event. So look at it. And it's in a beautiful facility. We're a couple miles from the beach in Torrance, California. So just come hang out. Come hang out for 3 days. It's a 3-day investment in you, where we'll go deep into your dream, help you really see what keeps you stuck, show you some tools on what to do to keep you moving, go through a process where you hear your next action step, and all along raising your thermostat to allow an even greater degree of good, freedom, and abundance into your life. All right, so again, the problem, you have an initiative, you have an idea, you get stuck on the starting line, you get stuck at the start. What do? You understand that you have a set point. You're brilliant. This is not about your intelligence. It's not about your capability. It's not about, it's none of that. It's there. You have this internal thermostatic set point that keeps you from even entertaining something more expansive. Understanding that, being willing to dream into that set point, identifying what are the milestones along the way that then inform the end, being willing to do it awkward, uncomfortable, sloppy, clumsy, knowing that you don't know how to do all of it at this point, and allowing yourself to get support. And I would love for you to get support with me. So if this has resonate, share, like, drop hearts and thumbs up and, all that good stuff into the comment section. And if you want more information about how to join me in a 3-day immersion as we get you off the starting line, put the word event in the comment section. My name is Felicia Searcy. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. I have had the honor of serving thousands of people live their dreams around the world, and it is my joy in this moment to serve you. Becky, I'm looking forward to it as well. Your dream is my passion. God bless.